Right now, somewhere in the world, a funeral is happening. Black clothes, quiet voices, a body placed with care. It feels instinctive, but the truth is far stranger than instinct. For most of human history, death came with silence. A body left where it fell. No stone, no name. Why? Go back 3 million years. Early hominins died the way most animals do. Bodies were left. Scavengers came. There was no ritual, because there was no concept yet that the person and the body were different things. That idea took a long time to arrive, and when it did, it came from an unexpected place. In 2013, cavers in South Africa squeezed through a narrow chamber and found hundreds of bones belonging to a new hominin species, Homo naledi. Paleoanthropologist Lee Berger proposed the bodies were deliberately placed there, again and again, by a species with a brain a third the size of yours. Deliberate treatment of the dead, it turns out, may not require a big brain. It requires something else. Not intelligence, intention. Move forward to Shanidar Cave in Iraq, 70,000 years ago. Archaeologist Ralph Selecki found a Neanderthal skeleton surrounded by pollen and proposed flowers had been placed at burial. The idea spread everywhere. Neanderthals grieved, Neanderthals loved. Later research complicated the story. The pollen may have come from burrowing rodents, not human hands. But the correction doesn't erase the discovery, it reveals something underneath it. The body was still buried, curled deliberately, returned to across generations. Archaeologist João Zilhão has documented ochre and grave goods across Neanderthal sites in Europe. They didn't need flowers to prove they grieved. The grave itself was proof. So why bury the dead at all? Here's the twist. Burial may not have started as love. It may have started as fear. Across unrelated cultures, early bodies are found wrapped, weighted, face down. Not always tender. Sometimes these look like efforts to keep something from getting back up. Death may have been humanity's first true mystery. A person who moved and spoke yesterday is silent today, and nothing explains why. That gap between a living mind and a lifeless body may be where abstract thought began. To fear a corpse, you first have to imagine something invisible left it. By 30,000 years ago, the evidence is undeniable. Graves in Russia held thousands of carved ivory beads sewn into clothing long since rotted away. Children were buried dressed as elaborately as adults, with tools they never could have used. Archaeologist Paul Pettit calls this period an explosion in mortuary complexity. Graves stopped being holes. They became statements. Think about what that means. Someone spent days carving beads for an outfit no living person would wear. That labor wasn't for the body. It was for a story the living needed to tell themselves. That's the twist hiding underneath all of it. Burial was never really about the dead. It was about the people left standing over the grave. A ritual turns unbearable, formless loss into a sequence of actions. Dig, wrap, place, cover, remember. It gives a community a reason to gather and agree, together, that a life mattered. Which brings the story back to you. You don't fear a body will rise if left uncovered, but you still light candles, still choose flowers, still gather and tell stories about someone who can no longer hear them. You're not doing this because it's practical. You're doing it because somewhere in your evolutionary past, a version of you looked at a body that used to be a person, felt the size of that absence, and needed to do something about it. The candle in your hand and the pollen scattered over a Neanderthal skeleton 70,000 years ago are doing the same job. Turning silence into ceremony, turning loss into meaning. That funeral happening right now, somewhere in the world. It isn't really for the person in the ground. It never was.